The last moveset I made was for Crash Bandicoot, and while Crash is the more popular, more worthy, more workable, and more likely candidate, there is a character he is often closely associated with that I would love to see just as much, if not more. Spyro is a dragon who collects gems, immolates sheep, and
just lean back and chill.
In a trilogy of collectathons for the original PlayStation. And much like Crash, the series went downhill from there, so I'm only going to pull moves and references from only those first 3 games.
Dragon!
His appearance is ripped and reignited straight out of the remakes, and his alts are just different color schemes based on various characters. There's only one way for Spyro to make an entrance: through a portal. Once there, his fighting stance is standing on all 4s, eyes darting back and forth. His idle animations include everything from wagging his tail to sneezing to looking behind him to all his other classics. He trots at the same pace as the games, but being the first ever quadruped in the roster will affect his moveset. Spyro's gimmick as a fighter is his good buddy Sparks the Dragonfly. In the game, Sparks serves a lot of functions, including Spyro's life meter. He appears yellow at full health, turns green after 1 hit, blue after 2, and then disappears after 3, leaving Spyro to die from the 4th. So in Smash, he appears yellow between 0 and 50%, green between 50 and 100, blue between 100 and 150, and disappears over 150. It's mostly cosmetic, but it will have a small effect on some moves. His jab is a spammable horn attack similar to Pikachu's jab, stronger but slower. His up tilt is a scrappy, scratchy, multi-hit offensive reference to his climbing ability. For his down tilt, he quickly spins around and whacks those in front with his tail. And for his side tilt, Sparks taps in for a move with a little too much knockback for a dragonfly, but makes a double reference to how he picks up gems and points them out. However, if Sparks isn't there because Spyro has over 150% damage, the side tilt changes to a different move. He quickly turns around and kicks with his hind legs, like a horse. His dash is the attack from this scene. In his game, Spyro can perform a single jump and follow it up with his glide. In Smash, he does the same thing, but with an equidistant double jump in between. And once the dude has gained enough altitude, his neutral aerial is the flutter introduced in Ripto's Rage. It was used to augment his jump with a little hover, but it makes a good nair attack. His back aerial is another horse kick thing since his legs are already back there, and his down aerial spikes opponents down with the sharp tip of its tail. Now, besides gliding around and soaring through the flying levels, when does Spyro achieve... So his up aerial is a vertical flip, and his forward air is a horizontal flip. His grabs were obviously the hardest moves to think of, with his mouth. He latches onto a chunk of them with his teeth, and for the pummel he can bite down. His forward throw simply spits them forward just as he does with rocks or other objects, and then he just throws them in whatever other direction. His shield is the standard smash, pink bubble thingamajigger. His shield roll is, of course, his roll, and his aerial dodge is also the flutter move. It obviously doesn't deal damage like the neutral air, but it's just a similar animation. Spyro's forward smash is a much more powerful horn attack than his neutral standard. His down smash is none other than his head bash, which is really just a ground pound similar to Crash's body slam. And his up smash is yet another skateboard move. I just couldn't help myself. He launches into the air with a series of multi-hit spins, and it's based on skating on the half-pipes. His neutral special is of course his flame attack. Sometimes this stuff just writes itself. His down special is his ice breath, a close range attack that can temporarily freeze opponents if close enough. His side special is his charge attack, which works just like in the games. He shifts right into gear without needing to charge up. If he initiates it in the air, he does that little pounce, and it can still be intercepted by a well-timed attack or stopped with a bit of end lag if he hits a wall. And lastly, his up special was going to be the little loop he does before landing in the loading screen, but it seems like it would just end at the same altitude, and it's not as iconic to the series as this. The little magic updrafts. Press up B to make Spyro rise about 1.5 meters and smoothly segue into a glide. However, it doesn't cause any damage, and once you choose to cancel out of the glide, he just goes into freefall.
Dragon!
And finally, his final smash. The world of Spyro contains portal-like gates that grant the young dragon power-ups, so likewise in Smash he gains full flying ability and can shoot flamin' hot fireballs. When Spyro charges and chars the competition, he can tease them with his up taunt, which is the little spin he does after getting a talisman or an orb. His down taunt is slicking his hair back, and his side taunt is this very snarky little eyebrow move. And when he has charged and charred his way to triumph, his victory poses include showing off for the camera with his sunglasses, sleeping on a pile of gems, and guarding a dragon egg. And I know the obvious stage would be Ripto's Arena, but that's just it, it's too obvious. But you know what would be slightly less obvious and way better and prettier and more iconic? Artisan's Realm. And naturally, it's gotta come with a nice big chunk of Stuart Copeland's genius compositions.
Dragon!
Personally, I always preferred the Spyro games to Crash Bandicoot, but objectively speaking, Crash is much more worthy of being a Smash fighter and would honestly make a much better one, but I would never turn Spyro down. And if you wouldn't either, smash that like button, leave a comment, sub to the channel, and maybe one day, this will happen.
Whoa! Wow! Okay, wow, I take back everything I just said.